Finally, the teacher's pet is biting the teacher right in the rear end. America's education system is dying and we're screwed. Teachers are getting punched in the face and kicked in the gut. Students, they have absolutely no respect for teachers anymore. What the heck is going on? It's time for a reality check.
Well, I think I'm putting in my letter of resignation today. I'm talking quietly so no one can hear me. I've been thinking about it for a while, and it's a teacher institute day, so it's a good time to do it. I'm just so nervous. And thinking about it makes me want to cry. I really wish I loved teaching, but it's nothing like I thought. And even though right now I don't think I'll teach again next year, I very well could, just at a different school. But I think getting it off my chest and not having to act like I'm coming back next year when people talk about it will help a lot with the anxiety that I feel when I come to work. And I love everyone I work with. I just feel like it's not for me. And I'm glad I'm realizing this a year in, instead of 30 years in when I'm stuck and have to stay for retirement purposes like a lot of teachers do.
A first grade little girl just slapped my third grade student, and when the line supervisors were disciplining her, she said, "Don't worry, my mom must come up here and take care of it." No wonder why teachers are quitting.
Two reasons for leaving. I've fallen out of love and I want my life back. I feel beat by the profession and constant feelings of inadequacy. That sums it up really, doesn't it?
Last year, 300,000 teachers quit, and I found out recently that most teachers quit the week before Thanksgiving break. And as a first year teacher, I would be lying if I said that I was excited to go back to work tomorrow. I'm not, and I didn't, and I don't want to, and I feel so bad. If anything, like, this break reminded me like how tired I really am. I feel like it took the first 5 days of break for me to feel like myself again, and then next thing I know, it's Sunday and I have to go to work tomorrow. Being able to work out and to see my family and clean my house and make dinner, it's just doing the things that I can't do when I'm teaching full time. I will say that I have 3 weeks until Christmas break, so that is exciting, but also again stressful because the kids know that it's holiday season, so their behavior is a little not the best, and also they're tired of learning. And honestly, I'd be lying if I was saying that I wasn't tired of teaching. I'm like trying to lesson plan and I'm like, what am I actually teaching tomorrow? And I honestly have no idea. I printed out a school calendar for my district and it's right next to my desk, and I mark down the days every time there's a next break, and our next break is December 19th to January 4th, so that's gonna be a really good break. Something that I want to do in the month of December to help me like not crash out with teaching is kind of do a little bit of a vlogmas. So I'm gonna film part of my day every day in the month until Christmas break. And I think that will be, again, a fun way to be more excited for the end of the first half of the year.
I just quit my job as a teacher, so let's talk about it. I know teachers who have been following me because of teaching are probably confused because it's April. We literally have a month left until the end of the school year. So the reason that I quit like this is because something came up earlier than I expected it to. I was already planning on leaving after the school year ended anyways. First, and the main reason is my lifestyle did not align with this job at all. A big thing for me, I'm like a health and wellness girly, and this job does not align with that whatsoever. I woke up so early and I had to start working at 7 o'clock, and I did not get sunlight into my eyes until I walked outside for recess at noon. I didn't have any windows in my classroom. Both years at this school, I didn't have any windows in 2 different classrooms, and nothing against the school, but the building structure, not the best. And I know a lot of other teachers don't have windows either. If I wanted to work out, I had to wake up so early before work to do that, and that was important to me, and it is a very important thing for me. But if I worked out after work, I was so mentally exhausted that like the workout was terrible. And throughout the day, as you are teaching, you don't get a break, you get a planning period, which in that time, you can use it as a break, but then when in the world are you going to plan your lessons for the next day, for the next week? The second huge reason kind of trickles in from the no breaks to the mental strain that this job gives you. Like I said before, it is a job where you have no energy left at the end of the day. And even though you're getting off at 4, you're getting off at 3:45, or even some schools get off earlier, it doesn't matter because I'm coming home and I'm a shell of a human and I don't function after a day of 40, 50 kids needing things from me. It's honestly so incredibly overstimulating. And even when it's not bad things that they need you for, even if they're not screaming at you, which sometimes they are, even if they're just needy and they need answers for something, having so many of them needing you at once, it's so draining. And with that, I had 2 classes, so I had 40, 50 kids, and I honestly carried the burden of them with me when I left the building at the end of the day. And that's not something that you can just decide to put off. I tried my absolute best to leave it at the door, but if you really care about these kids, which I really, really do, and I still do, that burden goes with you after work. The third really big reason is student behaviors. This is coming from somebody who was at an incredible school. Like, this has nothing to do with my school. I'm so glad I was at the school that I was at. But even at a great, incredible, high-performing school, we still had terrible student behaviors. I think these come from overexposure and underparenting. Like, my kids have phones. They're 8. They're exposed. And I feel like there's a lack of parenting for a large majority of students. There are a handful of good parents that do parent their kids and limit screen time and actually take the time to teach their kids their morals and life skills and all the things, but then there is a larger population that they leave it up to us to put the pieces back together, and that honestly is not my job. The fourth reason I'll talk on today is just the pressure to perform. A classroom teacher is a very performative job. You have a beginning of the year observation, a mid-year observation, you have an end of the year observation, and then your admin can pop in at any point during the day, during the school year, whenever they want to. So with that just comes anxiety, knowing that I could have admin come into my room at any point. Not that I was doing anything bad, it's just that like people pleasing in me, that like I want to be doing the best thing at all times just in case somebody walks into my room. That's giving me anxiety 24/7, and nobody wants to live like that. So those are just my big things. There are so many other things that go into this, but at the top of my mind, that's where I'm at. And overall, I just feel like this job is not sustainable anymore. I now understand why teachers are dropping like flies. It's because the teaching system is just not sustainable anymore. So I hope this helped. Might make a video on things I wish I would have known before going into teaching, for those who are student teachers or first year teachers, just to like help you out a little bit. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. Bye.
I'm going to say something controversial, and I am probably going to get a lot of feedback and comments, but I posted this on Threads earlier this week, and it quite literally blew up. It got 500,000 views, and I think that other teachers need to hear it, and so I'm going to say it. Okay, let's just get down to it. The reason that I quit teaching, my eye is literally twitching because I'm nervous. The reason I quit teaching was because of student behaviors. Please do not hear me and think that I quit because I dislike students or am blaming the kids in some way. I completely understand that students are shaped and molded by adults. However, the behaviors of students whatever the reasons behind them may be, I felt were unsustainable for me, quite literally a hostile environment. And yeah, I went to school day to day, disassociating and experiencing panic attacks because I could not handle the constant chaos and disrespect and literally putting out fires every 5 seconds. And so the student behaviors are what caused me to have a mental breakdown and need to leave the classroom. In the thread, I also talked about how there are so many factors that are causing these student behaviors. It's difficult to pinpoint one thing, but I do think that parent unavailability is a huge one. Now, I commented on this with an entirely another thread, or separate thread, that talked about the fact that like parent unavailability isn't always their fault. There are lots of things that have made parents struggle to be there for their kids, whether that is poverty, whether that is a whole host of other things. And then you have to get into the question of like, well, what's causing that poverty? What's causing all that? And in my opinion, based on my studies of American history, it has a lot to do with disenfranchisement, racist structures and systems, corporate greed, and unhealthy capitalism. All of those things play against a public education, and so it trickles down into the families, and the families can't be there for their kids when they need it, and it causes absent parenting, poor parenting, and ultimately absent parents that just don't provide for their kids. And then school systems and districts are expected to pick up the slack and be for kids what parents are not being. So the thread that I posted, I said I left the classroom because of student behaviors, and I got a lot of pushback on that. People were saying like, well, if you never liked the kids, you shouldn't have been a teacher. That's not at all what I was saying in that thread. I was saying that the behaviors that teachers are experiencing are causing nervous system breakdowns. Me being an example, there's millions of other teachers who could tell you the same thing. So yeah, I wanted to post it on here because I want to see what the vibe and response is on TikTok as opposed to threads. But ultimately that is why I left the classroom. I could not subject myself to the daily anxiety that came with student behaviors. If you're not a teacher and you're thinking to yourself, like, what is she talking about, student behaviors? Like, I can't imagine that it's that bad. It's that bad. Maybe I'll make another video with, like, specific examples, but that would make this video super, super long. So, yeah. I want to get your thoughts. Feel free to respond in the comments. Be nice to me. I mean, I guess you can be mean. You can say whatever you want to say, but that's all.
I am a first-year high school English teacher. This is definitely going to be my first and last year teaching. I was made very quickly aware of the fact that this is not the profession for me. It is absolutely astonishing and scary how your kids are 14, 15 years old and still do not have the proper reading skills. And I'm not talking about the ESC kids, the 504s, the IEP kids. I'm talking about your everyday regular Joe Schmo from Kokomo kid who does not know how to read and write at the level that they should. And the problem is that they don't care to learn how to do those things correctly. I can't teach the class because your kid wants to be a disruption, because your kid wants to be on their phone, because your kid does not give a flying about their education. The problem really, yes, the problem is your kid. The problem is also you as a parent, but the problem is also the administration who continuously makes these stupid excuses for these kids' bad behavior. Why in the world are you still talking about COVID? Every time these kids act up, it's always, well, they spent 2 years in COVID. So did everybody else. That was 2 years ago. At what point are we gonna stop blaming COVID for these kids' bad behavior? At what point are we gonna stop making these excuses for these kids? They are the problem. When you are stopping your teacher from being able to teach the entire class because you don't wanna follow directions, that is a you problem. And the thing is, the teacher will always get blamed. Every single time. It's always the teacher's fault. The teacher can't manage their classroom well. The teacher doesn't have the patience. The teacher this, the teacher that. When are you going to start holding your kids accountable for their bad behavior? This is why all these teachers are leaving, because they're tired of getting blamed for your kids' wrongdoing, for your lacking as a parent, for your lacking as an administration. My job as a teacher, it should just be to teach my curriculum. My job as a teacher should not be to be the therapist, to be the nurse, to be the parent, I don't get paid enough for that. Like when teachers talk about the problem with pay, that's what they're talking about, because you're requiring all of us to do all the work of like 4 different careers, but only paying us for one. The districts are all afraid of the parents complaining. The administration is afraid of the parents complaining. The parents are afraid of the kids who don't want to do their job. And who's left to pick up the pieces? The educators, the teachers. Because if these kids fail, y'all are going to make it seem like, well, the teacher wasn't doing their job. It's the teacher's fault. No, it's your kid who came to my class, sat there, twiddled on his phone. She wanted to sit here and talk to this girl, do everything but what they're supposed to be asked. And I cannot get them to do their work because they don't care. And they know you're going to make excuses for them. And that's why they continue to do the same things that they do. When these kids get sent to ISS, for whatever the case may be, you know what happens? Nothing. They just sit there on their phone or sit there on their laptop and do nothing. It's essentially free time for them. What are they learning from that? Sure, they might miss out on an assignment, but then here their parents come talking about, what can my child do to make up their grades? How about stop getting suspended? How about when I'm teaching a lesson, close your mouth? How about when I tell you to do something, instead of rolling your eyes and having a nasty attitude about it, you just do it? Put the discipline back into the schools. I'm not saying bring back the paddle, bring back the actual disciplinary actions, because these kids are not learning a thing.
If you're seeing this, that means that I did it. I resigned from my childhood dream job today. The last thing that I wanted was to be another teacher on your For You page, quitting. I can't help but feel like I'm giving up on my kids, on myself, my team, my school. As a teacher, we carry so much guilt all the time. Like, I am putting myself and my family first, and I feel guilty. And I'm not okay with that. I know that this is the right choice for me. I've always told people that when they said, like, why are you becoming a teacher? You don't make any money. You're not going to, whatever. And I always said, that risk is worth the reward. Like, teaching is such a rewarding profession. And I was willing to risk the pay for that. When people say, oh, teachers are quitting because they're not getting paid enough, like, no, some of us maybe, but we go into this profession knowing that we're not gonna make jack squat. We know that. And that's a risk that we are willing to take. But I have reached a point in my career where the risk is no longer worth the reward. This job doesn't feel rewarding anymore. They say, oh, but you get summers off. That's because teachers fucking need it. They need the summers off to recoup, re-energize, to do it all over again. When I told my family that I was going to resign from teaching, they said, aren't you going to miss your summers? And I said, probably not, because I'm going to have a job where I won't have to look forward to summer. I will have more time freedom during the day where I won't need a summer. I know the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but right now the grass feels greener. God, I am a damn good teacher, and I know that. I'm gonna miss my students, obviously, but I'm not gonna miss the education system. I can tell you that.
When I was a teacher, I was one of those teachers who was a quiet quitter. Here's a couple of things I did to set work boundaries. First, I made sure to leave on time every day, and I made sure to never work on weekends. Next, I made sure not to volunteer or overextend myself into doing anything extra. When it came to decorating my classroom, I did not go above and beyond. I simply put up what was necessary for instruction. I only did one bulletin board for the year, and it stayed up the entire year. When it came to lesson planning, I triaged my work based on what was absolutely necessary. One of the reasons I ended up in therapy was because I was having trouble coping with the stress that teaching inflicted upon me. I learned it was okay to do less if that meant saving my mental health.
Truly, teaching is one of the most agonizing professions that requires you to basically sign over your mind, body, and soul to a sea witch. But there's a reason that we do. And some of you, I think, are waiting for the phrase, remember your why. And no, I am not going to use that manipulative phrase on you. But my heart today is meant to show you that you are, were, could be, want to be a teacher for a reason. And it's okay to hate it. It's okay to have bad days, months, years. It's okay to complain. It's okay to throw a tantrum out of frustration because your job sucks. And it sucks the living everything out of you. It's also okay to feel the good, to be proud of yourself for making a copy that day, connecting with one student or with all of them. It's okay to let the good in every now and again.
You want to know what sucks as a teacher? I just kind of feel really guilty because today I was on the phone with my sister and I walked into my apartment because I always call her on the way home, and I just said, I'm done talking. I said, I've been talking all day to every single person I've responding to my name all day. I just want to sit in silence. And I actually felt so bad, and I hate that teaching drains the life out of me, that by the time the end of the day comes and I get to talk to friends and I get to talk to people, I don't want to. And that is a teacher truth, and that is something they do not tell you in college.
I've been a teacher for about 4 to 5 years, and I've literally worked at least 4 schools, and here's why. Because it's miserable. Here are the top few things that make teaching literally miserable. Number 1 is the administrators. It's not the children. It's literally the administrators. Because I believe that when they leave like a teaching position and go a little bit higher up, they get like this, go on a power trip where they don't know how to talk to teachers like adults. I think they're very, very disrespectful. And this is not every single administrator, but most are. Teachers get talked to like they're 5-year-olds. Like, clap if you hear me. Clap twice if you hear me. In meetings, to me, is so degrading. Like, it's all the time, or like talking to you like in a baby voice, or constantly trying to quiz you and make sure that you heard what they said. Like, they'll say something and then literally be like, okay, so what did I say? And there's like grown people respond, no ma'am, it's disrespectful, because you're constantly talking to teachers as if they're already doing something wrong, and I don't appreciate it. Number 2 is the pay. The reason I've job hopped so many times is not just because like the jobs were miserable, but also because the pay was miserable. And now I'm making, in just 4 years, literally double what I used to make 4 years ago when I first started out teaching. And that's because I job hop. So if you are a new educator, please do not stay complacent in one spot and just keep working thinking you're not going to get good raises. You're just not. There's not a lot of growth. If you don't want to move up to the administrator ladder, up the administration ladder, then you need to just job hop to make more money. Look into charter schools, look into picking up contracts, especially if you have your SPED license as well, you could be making a lot more. Number 3 is the documentation and paperwork. It's like excessive. It's like, you have to fill this out, you have to do that. It's like, okay, great, lesson plans, fine. But then now we're doing intervention. You need to have lesson plans for intervention. And now you have to do this, and now you have to fill out that, and to keep a daily log of this, and do that, and this feedback paperwork, and this and that. Like, it's literally, teaching has become like 40% paperwork, 40% documentation and meetings and all this extra BS that literally has nothing to do with your job and takes away from actually teaching your kids, actually literally meeting their goals, which, especially in like the SPED world, is so important because they have IEP goals and you have to make sure that you're working on those goals, right? But no, they busy you up with 85 other things. Like, I just started a job somewhere today, and I already can tell it's not going to be good because everything that they've told me that I'll have to do, like 60% of it has nothing to do with my actual position. So I don't see myself staying here long because of that. And then I think I'm on number 4. Number 4 would be the just lack of time to actually do all the documentation. Like I said, tying into number 3, of the lack of time and everything to do everything that you have to do, right? All the paperwork and everything. It's almost that they're literally like delusional to the fact that it just cannot be humanely done without taking away from teaching the children. And I don't know if they've noticed this, but the more you ask teachers to do paperwork and documentation, the worse the scores will be. Because do you think I'm going to go home with the pay that I get? Do you think I'm going to go home and do it? No. So I just think if you're thinking about going into education, don't freaking do it. If you do it, job hop. That's the only way you're gonna get paid more money. But it's just very frustrating, and I just wanted to come out and like share it with other people. Like, it's literally one of the worst professions on this planet. You get no respect. You don't get talked to like you're an adult, even a human almost sometimes, and the pay is crap, and like the workload is massive. Even with summers off, like people are like, oh, but you get summers off. No, we get paid for 10 months, and then that money is divided out over 12 months. Like, it's not like, oh, we just get paid over something. No, it's just budgeting our paychecks for us, okay? Like, that's literally all it is. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I just don't recommend. 0 out of 10. Don't recommend to anybody.
I quit teaching. This has been my 5th and final year of being a teacher. If you follow me on TikTok, you probably noticed that I have not posted in a couple months. I haven't posted since February. I have been kind of checked out and mentally and emotionally done with this job. I'm leaving, and it wasn't a decision that I have taken lightly. This is a decision that I have been thinking about all year. This year has been extremely challenging for me. I'm not sure if, for those of you who are not in education, are aware of what's happening in schools, but it's not easy. I don't think people truly understand what teachers are going through. Lots of children are not told no at home, which makes my job extremely difficult when it comes to having them hold accountability for their actions and their mistakes and following directions and keeping their hands to themselves. This year, I have been cursed at by both students and parents. I have been hit, punched repeatedly. And what hurts the most is the lack of support from the families when you are telling them and explaining what their child did. Instead of asking you, are you okay? Or my child did what? They ask you, well, what did you do to make them upset? Or are there cameras in the room? The behaviors that I have had to put up with this year are behaviors that I have never experienced as a teacher so far. I have cried so much, more than I have, like with all my teaching of years combined. I feel like I have taken off so many days from my mental health because I have not been able to mentally or physically bring myself to school. Education is not in a good place right now. It's really bad. I have so many stories that I could talk about that I will be posting later, but it's time to go. It's time to go. Again, this was not an easy decision, but I do feel that it is necessary for myself and my own mental health. And it does break my heart that I am walking away for something that I went to school with and had so much passion for, but that passion is gone. I parent more than I do teach. I'm gonna leave that at that. But I am excited to announce that I will be starting a new job at Heartland Church this July. I will be working as their digital communications coordinator, and I'm very excited for this opportunity. I'm excited to try something different and to start a new passion. So, thank you.
I've got bad news. Today is the day that I quit teaching. Please, let me explain why. Yesterday, our class was working on a project, and I told everyone to go to the PowerPoint. Finally, when they got to the PowerPoint, I did this. PowerPoint. 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 I waited a second for the reactions, and finally, after just like 5 seconds of awkward silence and me expecting like a laugh or like, hey, I got this. Why are you being so weird? They didn't know where that was from. It's from The Office. That's Michael Scott. Like, that's his thing. That's one of his many things, but that's a very popular quote. But the reactions I got next are disheartening, so viewer discretion is advised. They said, people watch that old show? What did you say? How dare they? Seriously, the minute that The Office becomes old, I become the teacher that this school needs, not what it deserves. Name that movie reference. If you can't, unfollow me.
America, I didn't quit teaching. It's crazy because I didn't think I'd be making this video so soon. I knew at some point I would cross paths and I need to make it, but not like this. I want to clear the air before anybody get to assuming. I was not fired. I was not forced to resign or anything like that. I actually quit because I had some family issues going on that I needed to attend to. And so I had to go home and visit family and stuff like that, make sure they were straight. But even aside from that, had these issues like with family not have happened, I still would have probably quit. Just because the school I was at was just a hostile work environment. To be honest with y'all, it's not the kids, bro. The kids wasn't the problem. It's the adults, bro. The adults that I work with, they just be doing too much, man. And if anybody watch my videos, y'all know I got the patience of a saint. So, like, if I tell y'all the adults the problem, it was the adults, bro. The adults are the problem. About 2 weeks ago when this happened, and I've been depressed. You know, I never think I'd probably jump online and tell y'all that I'm depressed. I'm one of them people that really keep stuff within my inner circle, but I figured being a content creator, you know, you all have helped me build this platform as well share this stuff with y'all, you know what I'm saying? I want to say that I'm going to go back to teaching. Not forever with teaching. I'm not, at least not right now, at least, you know, but I am going to get back into teaching. But yeah, man, like, I'm really at a point where I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know what's next for me. I just feel like I'm at a point now where I've hit my ceiling with content creation, and I can't get through that ceiling to the next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's definitely, it's made me depressed a little bit. I had to pause the video real quick. You know, it get midnight at 6 p.m. and shit now. But yeah, y'all, like, I really am tripped up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really been thinking heavy about this. Like, what is my next step? Because I really don't know what my next step is. In the meantime, you know, I still want to produce high quality content for y'all, make y'all laugh and all the other good stuff. But I really don't know what avenue to really explore next, you know? And I just feel like I'm not doing enough. I have to really force myself to get out of bed these past few days and like get up and like actually do something and get this shit off my mind because it's been crazy. But like I said, it's not a forever. You know, I definitely plan on getting back into teaching. I do appreciate those, because some people have already known about it. Those who watch my story and stuff on Instagram, I kind of already made the announcement. I do appreciate y'all sending the upbeat attitude. I really genuinely did not know how many people genuinely fuck with me until like I'm in the real world, where people walking up to me, you know, asking for pictures, you know, and handshakes and all of this other good stuff, and they say I inspire them and stuff like that. And like, I really sat down like these past few days and it's like, damn, bro, like people straight fuck with me. And like, it sounds crazy, but like growing up, bro, like I've always struggled with building friendships. Like, and don't get me wrong, I got friends, but like I've struggled with like making new friends outside of my immediate friend groups. You know what I'm saying? I've always struggled with disappointment that comes from childhood and shit like that. So to hear people say like, oh, you know, we rooting for you, we fuck with you from all over the world, it's like, damn, bro, like it really does. It made me want to tear up a little bit. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. But I feel like I'm just yapping too much, but I just wanted to just come on here and just really say that real quick, update y'all on my life, and tell y'all thank you. You know what I'm saying? I do appreciate y'all. I love y'all, man. Like my students, I wouldn't be nothing without y'all. Yeah, I fuck with y'all, man. I fuck with y'all.